everyone, Boardgame Brody here with Meeple Mountain. I have a new copy of Escape from the Asylum. It's an escape room game in a box by Imperial Publishing. This is a campaign-like game composed of 2 parts of 5 chapters each, following a story of you waking up in an asylum, not knowing what's going on till you get out and resolve some things. The game includes puzzles and a narrative that follows a storyline of horror within a medical-based theme. The game requires deduction and smart thinking because some of the puzzles are tough, but don't worry, there are 2 hints for every puzzle in a solution book that can be used. Each hint or solution adds to your total time of solving that chapter, and players work together to get through each chapter as fast as they can. Now, I don't want to spoil too much about this game, so what you might see is random, and if it doesn't make sense, that's because I don't want to spoil some stuff. You'll play the game by first flipping over the 0001 card. Every card has 4 number spots, and every puzzle will be answered with a 4-digit number. After reading the card, it will lead you to the next one, most likely given more details of a storyline. The cards that they tell you to flip over will never be in the same order, so you will always be shuffling through the big stack of numbered cards looking for a certain numbered card. At some points, it might ask you to get an envelope, and each envelope represents a different room. Sometimes you will need to find the envelope without opening it right away, so be careful. The game continues with you flipping through cards, reading the storyline, until it doesn't say for you to flip over another card. And at that point, you are to solve some kind of puzzle with the information that you have in front of you. Sometimes it's the contents within an envelope, sometimes it's what's printed on front of the envelope, or sometimes you need to use accumulated components from previous rooms that you've gathered. A chapter ends when a card says, "To be continued," or something of that sort. You will then determine how well you did with the time it took you to play, plus the time penalties for errors, for hints, and for solutions that you needed to get past a puzzle. They say that you are doing well in the game if you can pass a chapter under 60 minutes. You will then separate cards into bags so that you can return to play the next chapter on another day, or you can keep on going and playing the next chapter. The second chapter you will start by reading the 0002 card, and surprise, it will introduce another character in what may seem as a similar circumstance. But the first 5 cards in the deck are the starting cards for each of the 5 chapters in that box. The second box will start with the 0006 card, and each chapter will be the next card in that stack until you end the game playing all 10 chapters. So, what are my thoughts on the game? Well, I feel like the game does a really great job combining a compelling story with some puzzles. I personally was more interested in the story, but I think it's because I'm not patient enough to spend that time to solve some of those puzzles. And these puzzles aren't super easy. I mean, many times I'll say I needed both hints and the solution, and then it finally makes sense. But usually I'll find a couple things that's pointing me towards the answer, but I don't quite have everything and I don't understand how everything fits together. Hint 1 will usually tell me everything I already know. Hint 2 will give me a little more information. And then several times I found myself being very impatient and going straight to the solution. Now, honestly, this might be a strategic move with the time because even if I tried to solve the puzzle, it was going to take more than the 3 minutes after the second hint to do so. But I don't think the game is all about the time, and for people who enjoy these types of puzzles, will most definitely enjoy trying to solve the puzzles on their own, taking more time to do so, but enjoying the game more. For this reason, I almost think that the second hint should be 3-minute penalty, and the solution should add 5-minute penalty. But again, passing the chapter in a decent amount of time didn't really excite me as much as actually solving the puzzles on my own. I just know my limits and know that some of them I was not going to be able to solve. For some people, the theme might not excite them so much, or even some might be offended, because there is a lot of stigma that comes with mental health, and calling these type of humans crazy is not acceptable. But what you will find out in the game is that everyone in this facility has been tricked or stolen, and so the theme doesn't necessarily focus on the actual mental health patients, just people who have been tricked or kidnapped and are now trapped inside. But the game doesn't help the stigma. I like how the game anticipates for possible mistakes that you might take while solving puzzles and includes cards of the game saying try again, giving you a penalty for doing that. Each chapter includes a stamp on each card that you can check to make sure that you're using cards of the current chapter, because it would be sad if all of a sudden you started playing a different chapter and all of a sudden you messed up the entire game. So there's a feature to help you know that you're still within the story and where you're supposed to be going. The rules are nice and easy, and the game lets you start really fast after opening the game. There is a lot of content with a very good, strong storyline that will keep you playing through the game. And the game can be reset when you're done as well. They even include a sheet explaining where each card should be, resetting the game so that you can pass the game on to someone else, trading it, selling it, do whatever you want with it. You never destroy any part of the game, so it can be played over and over and over again. If you like escape room games, this one is very good, especially if you value a good storyline to follow. So find your way out of the asylum with your family and friends in Escape the Asylum, brought to the US by Imperial Publishing. Again, this is Board Game Brody. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stick around and check out some other board game reviews to see what you might want to get to the table.